Hey, hello there. This is a Protestant, non-denominational Christian community that we're just going to go through the Bible and talk about different areas for about less than 10 minutes. So it's pretty quick. If you're brand new to the Christian community or Christianity in general, that's great. We also encourage people that want to go back and just want to brush up on certain topics to look this up and come back to it kind of as a video log, if you will. So I'm not a theologian by any means, but I'm just going through the Bible and trying to interpret and understand what it actually says to me and preserve that, because one of the things I do is I go there sometimes on Sundays, get the Word, and then I'm like, oh, shoot, what did I didn't think about that. A month later or next week I move on to the next thing and I forget about it. So this is a way to kind of preserve it a little bit and come back, and like I said, it's 10 minutes. So if I play it on the way to work or something like that, okay. It's a good way of picking things up and just keeping it going here. So today we're going to talk straight from the Bible, and we're going to talk about the Day of the Lord, which is from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verses 1 through 11. So it's not very big, and it's something very digestible for under 10 minutes. Like I said, we're going to keep it short and sweet here. But if you remember here, Paul is writing to the Thessalonians, and the Thessalonians are already members of the church, so that's a good thing. But they're having some tough times. They're getting persecuted. They're getting treated poorly. A lot of them are actually dying, whether it's natural means or by persecution from the church. And some of them have died before Christ came back, of course, and they were concerned. Does that mean that they still make it to heaven? And Paul's word back to him was a word of encouragement, say, indeed they will. Christ will be coming back as promised. Those who died will meet him first, so they're going to meet him first, whether it's a priority, and then those who are still alive will meet him in the air. That's kind of what the bottom line that they're saying here for Paul. And let's dive into a little more here with chapters 1 through 3. You can't go wrong with good material. So it says, now, brothers and sisters, about times and dates we do not need to write you, for you know very well that the day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night. While people are saying peace and safety, destruction will come on them suddenly, as labor pains on a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. All right, so is it important to know when Jesus is coming again? No. And here's where it gets a little confusing. Does that mean that we blow things off and we don't have to worry about Jesus coming again? No, not at all. He is coming again. That is the for sure thing. The question is when, and that's not so important. It's kind of like gambling or stock markets, whatever it is. You know that it's going to happen. We just don't know when. And to put all your money onto when that's going to happen is kind of futile. It doesn't matter. It's gambling. But if you're living that life and you're living as you should be, he can come anytime and you're ready for him, is the bottom line there, okay? So not knowing when he's going to come is not key, but living that life is. And the analogy of a thief in the night, it's kind of scary, but if you think about it, if you're not a believer, it will be kind of like a thief. Everything you've got here in the world will be gone, and now you're in trouble because you don't have Jesus. So with that in mind, for that reason, I want to switch to Jesus now, which is kind of what they're trying to say to you here. So no notice to the Christian when Jesus comes, and that's fine. Verse 3, it talks about people who are not believers, and the people are the ones that are not believing in Jesus. And they have the peace and safety now. Things are going good. They've got whatever they need to for that time, this time. But it is actually a false thing, because ultimately, when you die, you can't take all that stuff with you. You can't be that. And it talks about destruction. When we're talking about destruction, it's not just like a simple car wreck or a fort being taken over, one-time deal. This is a very long and drawn-out thing, very painful. So that destruction could be who knows, could be endless. The repercussions were not a speculation, and it was a fact. That's what Paul wanted to iterate there, so this is definitely coming, and he reiterated it a little bit there with the pregnancy. When somebody finds out they're pregnant, it's not you can ask any woman that's had a kid probably, it's not an easy ordeal. It's very painful, as we all know, and women more than men, of course, know that, but it's something that's kind of like buying the ticket for the roller coaster, if you will. It's coming, and you can't get out of it. And just like we know that the end of the world for us, when we die, is coming, we need to figure out what's beyond that, and we know it's destruction if you don't believe here. So, and by the way, it's not destruction for the church. It's a good thing for the church. And Jesus came, by the way, not to punish people. He was coming to deliver us from that sin that was going to be there, that we'd be gone forever had he not come. Okay, so it's a good thing that he came, not a bad thing. So let's push on now to chapter 5, verses 4 through 8, alertness required. It talks about, but you, brothers and sisters, are not in darkness, so that this day should surprise you like a thief. Okay, so they're talking about Christianity not surprising you like a thief. You are all children of the light and children of the day. We do not belong to the night or to the darkness. So then, let us not be like others who are asleep, but let us be awake and sober. For those who are asleep, sleep at night, and those who get drunk at night. But since we belong to the day, let us be sober, putting on faith and love as a breastplate, and the hope of salvation as a helmet. All right, so that night and darkness, that soberness and that drinking at nighttime, they're talking about now. Now is the time that you are absorbing this information and getting this information from the Bible. Okay, it's not from me, it's from the Bible. And if you take that soberly and you make sense of it, and it makes you put it to heart, because you're putting it into your breastplate, which is covering your torso. You're also putting it into your helmet, which is the hope of salvation. So whether it's a Kevlar helmet or a metal helmet from that time, breastplate from that time, or a Kevlar helmet from this time, it doesn't matter. The point is you are protecting the hope and salvation that are in your mind and the faith and love that are in your heart. All right, that's the three things that are going to be kind of like the core of what saves you or helps you out here with this ordeal. All right, and they talk about taking advantage of this time, because later on, when he comes again, it's too late. All right. It's kind of like being caught at school, and you know that the teacher's gone, so you play around, and when the teacher comes back, they know what happened, and now you got to pay the price. All right, so don't get in that position is what we're trying to avoid there. All right, so the next verse here says, "For God did not appoint us to suffer wrath, but to receive salvation through our Lord Jesus Christ. He died for us so that, whether we are awake or asleep, we may live together with him. Therefore, encourage one another to build up each other, just as in fact you are doing." All right, so this is an encouragement thing. This is not a we're beating you up because you don't believe in Jesus or anything. This is a good thing. This is the light coming on saying, save yourself and go towards Jesus here. Go towards heaven. There's something bigger than the material things we have in this world, and yeah, this world has a lot of problems. Jesus predicted that and talked about that in the Bible. This is the day of the Lord is a judgment day of wrath, but the church was not intended for wrath. So you can either be on the side that's going to go through all the pain, or the side that is not going to go through all the pain. The choice is really up to you. Salvation cannot be earned, so even if you do get in the boat where, hey, you think you're not going to get this wrath, don't gloat about it. Be thankful for it. Be thankful that Jesus gave it to you, and that's the key thing, is Jesus gave it to you. So you did not earn it. You did not get it just dumb luck. This is something that Jesus gave to you, and you should be thankful for it and not boast about it or put the other people down. Okay, so not everybody can get to heaven. Jesus came so that everybody can get into heaven, but unfortunately they chose their way versus another way, Jesus' way. Okay, the benefit of salvation is to live throughout eternity with Christ. So that's a big that is the salvation, or the big benefit there. All right, so it also encourages us to keeps going through things when things aren't going well, because being a Christian doesn't mean that things are always going to go well. As you see from the Thessalonians here, people are dying, they're getting persecuted, it's not going well for them, but they have that hope that Jesus is coming again. No matter what they've got, what they're being persecuted with, and what the times are, what the politics are going on, they know that Jesus is coming back. All right, so build each other up, even when they feel like giving up and the church is being discouraged. All right, so that's it, under 10 minutes, and I just wanted to recap there with everything we had going on. It's not a whole lot to digest, but it is a lot. It's some very important stuff, so make sure you're getting that, and if you have more questions, dive into the Bible. That's where the reference came from, and once again, God bless. Take care.